The range from winter weather alerts to wind advisories and high wind warnings and even hurricane force wind warnings are prompted across much of the United States right now. And one of those include the potential for future severe weather. Starting tomorrow here, the Storm Prediction Center has highlighted a 2 out of 5 slight risk area for portions of Louisiana, Arkansas, getting into portions of southwestern Tennessee right there. And as we time out those thunderstorms for you this evening here, as we head into that time frame here, you can see we're likely going to start to see some thunderstorms and maybe some showers and thunderstorms along the coastline here as we go into the morning hours tomorrow, which the severe threat is likely not going to be that visible throughout the day tomorrow. It's when we get into the evening and overnight when things start to get rolling here. I know you see it right here. I see it too. 12 a.m. here. We're talking about severe thunderstorm potential in this entire region right here, from clusters to a squall line down here. And that, my friends, is the cold front sitting there in Dallas at this time frame. And as we go into this time frame here, the squall line, the cold front, rapidly intensifies here along with discrete mini cells out ahead of it here. All right, this is going to be something to watch for, potentially for a tornado outbreak. And if this comes together, we may be talking about a moderate risk potential day here. And that is a rare 4 out of 5 risk. So that's going to be something to eye on very, very closely as we head into that time frame. That cold front pushing that squall eastward here as we head into that time frame. Everywhere in the Ohio Valley and the Southeast is likely going to see rain and wind. It's just a matter of time of the timing of the severe weather here in the South. That will also affect the timing of the rain in the North. And that's also something we're going to talk about here. Everywhere is also going to get wind with this system. This system is actually going to be pretty windy here and significantly windy in some areas, so that's going to be something to talk about in the next part of this video here. But you can see as we go into the last hour here, 48 hours here, as we go into Friday afternoon here, we now have coastal line severe weather here. However, that squall line is likely going to affect portions of Florida here, so maybe an isolated severe area down here, but I don't really call it much of a threat. Maybe some 50 to 60 mile an hour winds, maybe. But this squall line is going to be in and out. That's why there's such an isolated risk area likely centered over that area in Florida as we head into that time frame. Rather over here, you can see more so these discrete cells scattered about throughout much of this region right here. This is something to really be cautious of here. And these discrete cells could be just the ones to produce a strong or even violent tornado here in this circled region right there. So I ask you, if you are in this pink shade right here, this is combined with Thursday's threat too. I need you to have a way to receive ample alerts on your phone, or have at least some way to receive alerts, if not multiple ways. And charge your cellular devices, have an emergency kit ready just in case a tornado warning is issued here. Potential injuries are possible. Have enough food, water, and make sure you have your pets downstairs and your family downstairs in case of there being a significant or even violent or deadly tornado warning, which we always pray doesn't happen here, but certainly can happen as we head into these types of events here. Again, a moderate risk is not out of the question with this. So again, I ask you guys, if you're in this pink shade, to rewind the video again and listen to my instructions very closely, because this day is likely going to be worse than we've had in a while. So that's going to be something to eye on very closely, and that'll also impact potentially your life. So please be aware, follow the National Weather Service, and just have a way to receive alerts and stay safe, everybody. All right, now that we're done talking about the severe weather, we have a big winter storm setting up in the northwestern side of the system, as well as rain and very high winds potentially knocking out the power. So let's talk about that right now. All right, so talking about the snowy and windy side of the system here, let's talk about this here. Time this out here. You can see we get a little bit of a clipper system through here as we go through the overnight hours and into the daytime hours tomorrow. Perhaps a little bit of a snowstorm type like system here, maybe some light to moderate snow in places here. And maybe some lake effect dropping off Lake Erie here. You know how active Erie is this time of year, and we have some mix potentially getting in from that system. So maybe some ice potentially with that. As we head into this time frame, Clipper system affects portions of the Ohio Valley and Michigan, the Great Lakes region here, as we head into that time frame. But this is not the big event. This is the big event down here, where the low is right here. And as it continues moving, you can see that we're going to have two pieces of energy, one right here and one right here. Watch how they just come together to create this major storm that we're likely going to have here, with snow, heavy snow, probably blowing snow too, and then the wind is going to start cranking up here. And then we're also going to start having heavy rain, maybe some isolated severe potential in this region. However, I don't find the severe potential very high just because of the wind gusts right now. So that's going to be something to keep an eye on still, even though it's not a real severe weather event. Wind can be stronger with any type of shower, especially with kind of one of these days. As we head into this time frame, it's a blizzard as we head into this time frame potentially. And as temperatures continue to cool in this region right here, winds are going to kick up as this rain moves in the Ohio Valley here. There might be some catastrophic damage potential along here. Potentially, if we could get some higher 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts in this region right here. I didn't mean to say catastrophic. I meant to say considerable damage potentially with the heavy rain and the very high winds in this region right here. And we're likely going to have blizzard conditions on this area right here. We might potentially have a full out blizzard here breaking out across that region. So that's also going to be something to keep an eye on here. And the main thing with the system is the wind here. And I know I just talked a little bit about it on the previous portion of this video here, but we're also likely going to have some pretty impressive wind gusts with this Clipper system here. We're talking anywhere from 20 to 30 mile per hour winds, maybe perhaps some 40-mile-an-hour wind gusts as we go into that time frame right there. Those oranges representing those mid 30-mile-an-hour wind gusts here. The reds representing 40 here. And then down here in the mountains here, obviously you're getting high wind gusts. But as this system starts to shape up here, I know you can see where it is. Looking at the wind gusts here, all right? There it is, starting to spin its own thing up as we go into this time frame here. We have a range at this point from 40 to 50 mile an hour winds. And at this point, this is likely going to start affecting portions of this entire region right here with very high winds, which could trigger considerable damage in some areas, especially with this gust front with the rain up here. That's likely going to get some wind energy from the severe weather down here. This is likely going to impact this entire area, potentially creating the potential for some, probably a damage a severe thunderstorm could do, except a little lesser, thankfully. But there still is the potential for damage everywhere with this system, including the areas that get the severe weather. Of course, the areas with severe weather will get the highest potential for severe weather, all right? that's a little obvious here. But as we go into this time frame here, you can see zooming into these whiter, even pinkish areas here, you're talking winds exceeding 60 miles per hour here. And you can see that's a thing here, except we have a high 50 mile per hour wind gusts here, perhaps some high 40 mile an hour wind gusts in this region right here. As we go into this region, the Great Lakes region, we start to go into this time frame here, and then we potentially have 60 mile an hour wind gusts to contend with in Illinois and Indiana here. That's going to be something to watch for, as this could impact any precipitation that falls here. It's not going to fall as normal precipitation anywhere where the wind starts cranking up here. And I'm just going to say this now. Whenever it rains, it's likely going to come with very impactful winds here. And when I say impactful winds, I mean strong thunderstorm force winds, maybe even severe thunderstorm warning, conditional force winds here when the line of rain comes through the region that I circled right there. But still a lot of uncertainty to eye on before this actually happens here. We're just going to have to continue nailing down the potential here and how that could potentially impact us as we go through the day on Friday here throughout the United States. But the thing that's interesting with the system is the cold air that's going to come with it. And trust me, it is bitter cold air. And we have a ton to eye on about this, so let's get right to it. Alright guys, this is what you've all been talking about and hyping up for months now. The polar vortex is finally going to make a visit to the United States, and it's going to plunge and it's going to scream into the United States as we go into early next week with bitter cold air for much of the United States here. And we're talking temperatures ranging from 0 or lower to probably 30s over here, but low 30s here and 20s over here. Teens otherwise everywhere you look here. So this is definitely a significant blast of Arctic air that we have not seen in a little while here across the CONUS, the continental United States. All of the region that I just circled here in the green areas and even the white areas here are sub-zero temperatures or single digits here. That is very bitter cold for this time of year. So you guys know we have very bitter cold air going on here. And as a matter of fact, the Climate Prediction Center has acknowledged that with their 6 to 10 day outlook here being very widespread cold below average air throughout much of the United States here. And it's a really big chance of it happening here. So that's going to be something to keep an eye on. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe if you're not already. I have another update for you tomorrow here.